In recent months, South Africa has seen a noticeable rise in public outcry over what many citizens believe is a dangerously lenient approach to border control and immigration under President Cyril Ramaphosa's administration. With growing concerns about illegal immigration, crime, and economic pressure, citizens across the country are now demanding firmer action and tighter border enforcement, reigniting one of the most emotionally charged debates in post-apartheid South Africa. Social media platforms have become rallying grounds for everyday South Africans voicing their frustrations. Hashtags like #SecureOurBorders and #PutSouthAfricans First have trended frequently, reflecting growing disillusionment with what is perceived as government inaction. From Limpopo to Gauteng, stories abound of illegal border crossings, unregulated migration, and a government many accuse of being out of touch with the plight of its own citizens. Many South Africans, particularly in working-class communities, say they bear the brunt of the consequences. In townships and inner cities, residents argue that competition for jobs, housing, and even healthcare has intensified, with immigrants, both legal and undocumented, often scapegoated as the root cause. Whether or not these perceptions are always grounded in fact, they underscore a real and growing sentiment: South Africa's borders are too porous, and the current administration is failing to protect its people. The problem isn't immigration, it's uncontrolled, illegal immigration, says Thandika Makona, a nurse in Soweto. We are a welcoming people, but when people come into the country unchecked, it puts pressure on our already struggling systems. Government has to put South Africans first. Opposition parties and advocacy groups have seized on the moment. The Patriotic Alliance, Action SA, and other politically vocal groups have made border control and immigration policy centerpieces of their messaging. They accuse the African National Congress, ANC, and President Ramaphosa of choosing diplomacy and regional politics over national interest, a claim the presidency has pushed back on. In a recent press briefing, Ramaphosa emphasized the importance of maintaining good diplomatic ties with neighboring countries and stressed the need for a humane, orderly immigration policy. South Africa will not be turned into a fortress, he declared. But that does not mean we will tolerate lawlessness or the abuse of our immigration system. Critics, however, argue that the government's words are not being matched with tangible action. Reports of corruption within the Department of Home Affairs, Border Patrol understaffing, and under-resourced border checkpoints fuel the perception of systemic failure. Leaked videos showing people casually walking across unmanned sections of the South Africa-Zimbabwe border have only added fuel to the fire. Adding to the complexity is the country's unique socio-political context. South Africa, still grappling with the legacies of apartheid and systemic inequality, finds itself at a crossroads. It must balance human rights with national interests, regional solidarity with internal stability. Yet, for many, the argument is no longer about policy nuance, it's about survival. In the minds of some frustrated citizens, every undocumented migrant represents a missed job opportunity, a longer queue at the clinic, or a child pushed further down the education waiting list. The tension between constitutional values and public sentiment grows more strained by the day. As 2026 elections loom on the horizon, analysts predict that border control and immigration will be among the most decisive issues influencing the vote. The ANC, already losing ground to emerging political players, faces an uphill battle if it fails to respond decisively. For now, the call is growing louder across town halls, protest lines, and media broadcasts. South Africans want stronger borders. They want leadership that listens. And they want change, now.